Hey Megan, how's it going?
Good. So, just before we went live, you said you hit your head. So I noticed you holding something to your head, and I thought, huh, what's going on there? What
I
happened?
I bent down to plug the computer in the electricity and
Uh-huh.
came up full swing, smack on this really heavy, kind of old school wooden desk, standing desk. So there were tears, but I was like, oh my God. And so yeah, but it's okay. There might be a concussion, there might not be. We'll know in a bit.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're with somebody, just in case one eye starts to go over here. We can stop the live, and I'll give your husband a call. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the So Freaking Healthy podcast, listeners. So wonderful to have you with us, because it's a Friday, gloomy afternoon in Switzerland. It's raining, it's horrible, it's shit, but we are together.
We're
Here we
happy.
are.
We're all
Yes.
good.
We are happy. So today we are going to use this wonderful platform that we have created to selfishly promote ourselves. Yes. Because why can't, if you can't
Why
promote
not?
yourself,
Why not?
then who can you promote? That's the point.
Exactly.
So
No
we
one else is going to promote you
exactly.
as much as you really want to.
No, but
No, that's true.
in all seriousness, this is having the podcast is a great way for Donna and I to, blow off some steam and talk about really wonderful things and meet awesome people. But it's also a way for us to make sure that we, have a little voice in the world. And so
Yeah.
today I am going to interview Donna all about her Urban Cleanse program, which I don't really know much about, because besides the podcast, we don't do much together. It's not like we co-coach or anything like that. So I really don't know your programs, and you don't really know mine. So this is also a learning for me, so I can then also plug you other places as well.
Exactly. And what I love is that, okay, so for our savvy listeners who already kind of know us and know why Megan is the scientist and I'm the hippie, is because Megan is very methodical. I love that about you. That's why you complete me. You're very methodical. You'll study your kind of whoever is coming on, you'll have the questions ready. And I attacked Megan with, like, basically I was supposed to send you some ideas and questions and things like that. And my kid was just sick the entire fucking week. So I just didn't get a chance. And yesterday I wrote Megan, I was like, I'm so sorry. I just, sleepless nights and oh my God. And she pulled through. So I'm super happy because that means that you will have questions that probably other people have, instead of being ready for it and going like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
what is this part of that part? It's just kind of like the regular questions that most people will probably have when they hear me babble on about it, but
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily look at the landing page because who has time?
Nobody reads. Nobody
Nobody
reads
reads.
anything. Yeah.
No.
So, first of all, your company is called Organalicious.
Yes.
So I just want to first start there, because we've never talked about the genesis of the name Organalicious, or how you came up with this name.
Yeah.
So I want to know this story. Can you tell me?
Sure. I used to work with a guy who's dear to my heart, a good friend, and we would just sit there and brainstorm about different things. Like, I'd be like, I need a name. And we would just sit there for hours. Right now, we both have dirty minds as well, so we're looking for something that sounded sexy but
Mm-hmm.
didn't actually mean anything,
Oh.
right? So, and I'm all about organic, but not only just like organic, like bio, like organic eating and stuff like that, but also like just, considering our beautiful world that we're butchering constantly. And it has to be delicious. And so we kind of combine the words organically delicious, or excuse me, organic and delicious, to just kind of like merge them together and make a really sexy word, which kind of sounds like orgasm sometimes, but doesn't really. So that was kind of the story there. I think it was just, yeah, just trying to figure out a sexy name for, for a company, which won't be boring or not make sense with what I do.
Yeah, no,
So
I
most
think
people
it's
can't pronounce it, just like they can't pronounce my name. So I'm back to square one as always, but whatever. It's okay.
I'm always like, oh wait, do I have enough I's and L's and O's in this? When I'm typing out her email address, Organalicious. It is exactly how it sounds.
Yeah.
So it's nothing tricky, but yeah, it is a little long, but I like how you've broken it up on your website with the color to kind of also give a little bit more definition to the two words for the portmanteau. But okay, cool. I mean, it's definitely you though. I love it. I love Organalicious. So
Thank you.
but now the next term, which is, the title of today's live is what is an urban cleanse? And I have to tell you, at the very beginning, when I said urban cleanse, oh, this has to do with septic systems, I'm sure. Because
Oh, no. Yeah,
that's only because my dad has a septic business. So my mind always goes to poop. Yeah. But I am sure there's a more elegant definition. So let's start with that. So what is an urban cleanse?
Well, I mean, like we do talk a lot about poop during the urban cleanse. So it kind of makes sense. The urban cleanse. So I'm going to say something really stupid, but I'm still not convinced about the name, but it's there to stay. Because a lot of people, when they hear urban cleanse, they're thinking cleanse, meaning juicing, meaning starving, meaning whatever, right? And that kind of, I think, scares some people, but I promise you all, it is not. It has nothing to do with that. It's actually what I was trying to put together was the idea of urban, meaning like our urban life, our urban lifestyle, right? The fact that we're working and we're parenting and we're taking care of other people and we're doing things that we want to do. We're not like farmers up somewhere just dealing with which they have a shit ton of work to do. I'm not undergrading that, but like we have this very dynamic life, right? And at the same time, I hear so many people going like, I'm going to go to India for a 2-week cleanse, right? A 2-week juicing cleanse or a 2-week, I don't know, retreat in Italy or a 1-week, whatever, up in the mountains. And what I do see a lot as a pattern is that they come back to that same urban routine lifestyle, right? Now, for those who don't know what the word urban means, it's just city life, like city, right? Urban is city. So my idea there was to say like, look, we can actually keep to your life. You can keep going to work. You can keep taking care of your family. You can keep, doing what you're doing, but we can clean up our lifestyle, right? So we're talking about diet. We're also talking about lifestyle changes that can contribute to your urban life, right? So you can live I don't like the term clean, but like you can live a healthier life within the life that you're already leading. So I don't know if it comes across through the name, and I tried to kind of like, in my website, you see like a, urban cleanse, and then it actually says the definition, which I don't want to read now because I'll have to open a new tab and, me and technology.
No, I have your website open. I have it. Hold on. You have your urban cleanse. Oh, now, of course, I said it, and then it takes me a second.
No worries.
Oh, wait, no, it's on your homepage. Anyway, go ahead.
So I have it. So in the homepage, basically my homepage says stop dieting, start re-educating and heal your relationship with food for good. And the definition of urban cleanse, we have two definitions. One is fueling your body right and feeling great without interrupting your busy life, which is exactly what I kind of said, but in a much better way. And number two is when psychology, science, and nutrition meet to make healthy living simple, right? So all I'm trying to do there is really just help people to simplify their life in a way, right? If we talked about sleep so many times, we talked about stress so many times, right? So we're tackling these subjects as well, just kind of saying like, look, this is actually, something that you can help yourself with. It sounds like a challenge. It sounds heavy, but at the end of the day, if you sleep an extra half hour, you're going to be able to heal your relationship with food more because you're not so tired that you're going for like, crappy food because you're looking for the energy. It's just kind of like a whole mishmash of things. Now, the urban cleanse it used to be just a group program. We're now talking about everything that I offer is an urban cleanse, right? Because it's all doing the same thing. We're just basically saying, there is a group program, which is a smaller kind of like way of getting in there and saying, yes, we do it as a group. And then there's, of course, working one-on-one, which is awesome as well. So there's two other ways of working.
Yeah, you kind of digged into one of my questions, because I was going to ask if there are different urban cleanse programs.
Yeah.
So maybe you could elaborate a little bit more on the one-on-one program versus the group program, because I think are they different time lengths? Do they do different things? Like maybe just a little bit more about why would somebody join a group versus one-on-one and so on?
That's a really, really good question. So, what I usually make sure to do before anyone makes their decision is to jump on a call with them, because I find that a lot of people would go like, oh, great, it's a 30-day group program, short, cheap, I'm going to do it. But at the end of the day, it's something that, wouldn't fit, for example, someone who has to go through a very radical change. If they have an autoimmune disease, for example, which we know slows down the metabolism, and kind of like there's different things that we need to focus on there, right? So the group program is a short and to the point. It's more about me sharing my information, like a lot of information, helping people to re-educate, giving them the menu plans and the shopping lists and whatever they need. I'll go into detail about that. But the idea of the group program is that it gives them kind of leverage to what are we doing here? Like, what is it that can make my life easier, right? And what is it that can make my whole family eat the same thing without me dealing with diets and different kind of requests and things like that? So it's really talking about the whole family. How do we do that? With the Urban Cleanse one-on-one, virtual one-on-one, which means we're on together online. It's a longer program. It's stretched. It's very individualized, right? So if we're talking about the autoimmune disease, we're going to work on that. We're going to help you kind of support you through that as well, and try to help you to heal, and probably integrate doctors that I collaborate with, or tests, or anything that can actually help there, right? So again, we're still talking about lifestyle changes, diet and sleep and stress and relationships and career and everything like that. But it's basically more, to focus on the individual. And then there's the at-home urban cleanse, which means that I go to my clients' homes, we cook together. It's very, very intimate. It's more for people, kind of like in the 1 hour radius from me. But yeah, that's a really special one, and it's really fun. And they get to have food for the next, at least week or two when I leave their house. So it's really, it's very similar in what we talk about and what we focus on, but it's very different packages, throughout. So yeah.
And so the group program is 1 month, and the one-to-one program, how long is that?
The one-to-one is either home, or it kind of is more flexible. Usually the best results are 6 months onwards. Okay. But I do have options for people to have one-offs. I do have options for people to do 2 months or 3 months or something like that, or to break down the costs and stuff like that. But yeah, I find that it is a lot more, it shows a lot more results when you work on a longer stretch of time.
And I assume that also the group programs, you don't have running continuously, right? So you have a group program set at a specific time. So that might also be one of the considerations. It's like, okay, maybe somebody sees a period of time coming up in their life and they want to organize this in a way. Maybe a one-on-one is better because you can do it a little bit more like around their schedule and according to their timeline, versus somebody who maybe wants to get, needs a shorter commitment, maybe also financially can't commit to a one-on-one program, but also wants to have the benefits from the thing. So I think that that's also a lot to consider for someone, the different types that you have there.
For sure. I mean,
yeah. Well, my next question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The Urban Cleanse group program does happen only every couple of months, usually, if it also every 2 to 3 months, roughly. More kind of scheduled around also the endless Swiss school breaks. Endless.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are, again, they're kind of like, I don't like having large groups there because then I lose track of who's who. So I'd like to know every person individually. And I'd like for it to be kind of an intimate group as well. So, yeah.
Okay, but then that kind of brings me into my next question. It's like, I know you've talked a lot about what it does, but when you created these programs, who did you have in mind? Who's your ideal client? Who's the person that these programs are going to work really well for? And in a way, shape of not only your ideal customer, but like what things are they going through right now, or stages in life, or things like that, that make them that would be ideal for this program to work well for them.
That's an awesome question. And you didn't even have that question ready, I'm pretty sure.
No.
that was from the, I'm so proud of you. Look at you. So it's a really, really good question, because the people who I think it's a natural kind of thing. The people who I thought would be the perfect target market for this are people like me. Right. So I'm thinking of caregivers. I'm thinking of working mothers or working women, married, not married, doesn't actually matter. Right. But they want things to change. They've either gone through endless amounts of diets, endless amounts of trying to change this and trying to change that, but nothing actually clicked and nothing actually kind of, solidified. And then this kind of group, and it could be men or women, by the way. I have men and women in the group. It's mainly women, but I do have awesome men that join the group as well. And the idea there is basically for people who they're looking, they maybe have picky eaters and want to feed them a healthier diet. Or maybe there is a health issue that they're trying to deal with nutrition. There might be, if it's unbalanced hormones, or if it's ADD or ADHD, or if it's, it could be, I'm not going to name all of them, but it could really be endless kind of reasons behind health, right? Maybe weight issues, needing to gain weight or lose weight, trying to get more toned, right? So they're working out and they're doing this and that, but they realize that they're in a plateau and they're not actually getting any better. So basically the people who usually join the group are mostly working women, and they are just looking to have more energy. They're looking to have more brain clarity, right? They're maybe stuck at this like brain foggy kind of like state. They have these energy slumps in the afternoon, about after, maybe an hour or two after lunch, and they just then start with the sugar, empty carbs, things like that, just to kind of keep going. That's kind of like, a more kind of broad idea of who joins the program and who it's for. Yeah.
But maybe then the opposite of that are there people with certain conditions or certain places in their life that maybe it might not work well for them for whatever reason?
Yeah, the group program for sure. That's why I usually love to have a call first, because then I get to know understand their health history and understand what the situation is and what they're looking for. And if someone is looking to lose weight, lose 20 kilos in 30 days, I'm going to be like, look, this is not the program for you. And probably I'm not the right person for you, because I don't believe that it's actually sustainable. For me, sustainability is the most important part of this, is that you won't need another program or another diet or another something to actually go back, like it's just
Right.
yo-yo dieting is just not something that I support. If there are very serious health issues that we're talking about, if there's maybe a very kind of broken relationship with food, where we're talking about maybe anorexia or bulimia or any eating disorders, then I'm probably not necessarily the right person, or at least not the right the group program is not the right setting for them. We can try and talk, and then if I see like, look, this is just out of my everything, then it's probably not going to work, right? But I think that in terms of, what people need to understand is, again, I've had a few women who we had the call and I explained the difference, and they said, okay, but I'm going to do the group program. And I knew that they have, thyroid problems, for example, right? And we know that with certain thyroid problems, your metabolism it's shut, man. Like it's very hard to lose weight. It's very hard. So their expectations were a little bit higher, and, reaching out to me at the end going like, but I didn't lose weight. And I'm like, yeah, of course you didn't, like, it makes sense. There are other steps that need to be done. There are other things to look into and to consider.
Yeah. Well, and it's not, I know the main driver for a lot of people to get healthy is to lose weight or to gain muscle, right?
Yes.
And I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but part of your program, or any good health coach program, let's put it this way, that's not your only focus. You really need to have other key indicators that you're getting healthier, like what we talked about. You're sleeping better, you move easier, maybe your clothes fit better even though you haven't lost weight. Yes. I think there's a lot of other ways to measure that you've gotten better or that you've gotten healthier besides weight. And I think that that's always an important thing to say.
I love that you brought that up, because I have, I've stopped counting how many times a week I tell my clients, like, look, but weight is not like, I actually tell them not to weigh themselves, and not to kind of like, it's so much stress. It's so much stress to kind of get on the scale, and maybe you're ovulating, or maybe you're on your period, or maybe you're whatever, right? It's winter, it's summer, it's that time of the month, or it's not that time of the month. We're women, we're hormonal human beings, and our weight fluctuates naturally. If you're working out, you're gaining more muscle mass. It's weight, so there are so many things to consider. And I find that a lot of women just stand there every single day. They get on the scale and they're like, oh my God, I gained a kilo. Oh my God, I lost a kilo, and that stress on its own is not contributing to anything, not health and not weight and not anything, right? So I try to remove that. I try to say like, okay, but what about if we just consider, how are we taking care of ourselves? How are we prioritizing ourselves in order to prioritize others better? How do we make sure that our diet and our lifestyle is contributing to better health, right? And when you feel better and you look in the mirror and you're happier and you are more active and you're more energetic and you're more focused and you're more, you love how you feel, right? You can feel sexy and not lose any weight, ladies.
Yeah.
Please remember that, okay? I weigh more than I did before, and I feel sexier than I ever have. It doesn't make a big difference. What makes the bigger difference is how much you love yourself and how much you're actually contributing to your own health. So thank you for bringing that up. That's really important.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Self-love. Go self-love. Okay. So, okay. So we've already talked about what the Urban Cleanse is. We talked about the different programs that you have, one-on-one versus group programs. We've talked about like what makes those programs different for different people, and what people what types of people where the program would work. Because I feel like, the disclaimer here is kind of like anybody that's picked up like a diet book or a health book and thinks that it will work for them. And back to our, thing about bioindividuality. Danna, you're fabulous. You're fantastic, but you will not work for every single person. The program won't work for every single person.
No.
So if you listener that we're talking to now, if you're thinking about doing any kind of program, whatever program. It doesn't matter if it's like learning a new skill or doing something for your health or picking up a musical instrument for the first time. You are unique and you will learn things different ways. So number one, never give up on the first attempt in anything. Try doing it a different way. So that's kind of like life rule number whatever 15. And so I think that in these cases, the reason we want to highlight Danna's program is number one, it's very rare that you get to actually hear in depth about these different programs and what they mean. So number one, as a listener, you get to know more about this program. Then you can go, okay, I'm going to look at another program. What are the differences between these programs? If I use Danna's program and it doesn't work for me, does that mean any other health coaching program won't work for me? No, it just means that was not the right fit for you. And vice versa. Just because you did Danna's program and it worked really well, going to do somebody else's program, it doesn't mean everything's always going to work because of the because of the type of person you are and the type of person Danna is. So I guess then kind of maybe to keep going on this vein with other programs, could you compare, contrast, like kind of what makes your program unique versus other programs that are just as good, but for different reasons?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, what I think makes my program unique versus others, there's a couple of things. I think that one, and the major one, is my availability to my clients. I always tell my clients, whether they're one-on-one or actually the group as well, we have a WhatsApp communication. For the group, it's a group. For the one-on-ones, it's one-on-one, of course, where they can contact me at almost any time. I mean, I'm not saying 24/7 because I sleep, but in my alert awake hours, so pretty much from 6 o'clock in the morning until usually 9 o'clock at night, maybe 8:30, 9, yeah, I'm there for them. They know that if they're in the supermarket and they're not sure about a certain product, they can send me a picture and I most likely will reply while they're still in the supermarket, right? Okay. So I really kind of pride myself on being available for my clients whenever they need me to be. Of course, if I'm on a call with another client, it will take me a little while, but I really do try to be available. With the group, what's beautiful about the group program is that I have women who, so it's a little kept secret, but the Urban Cleanse group program has an extension program availability where I have some women there for over 2 years. They've stuck around forever and ever. And they're on that group as well. So when you have a question and I'm not available, they usually pop up and they answer and they kind of like give the feedback and say like, this is what I remember. This is what I know. Let's wait for Danna. But they're usually on the nose because they've been around for so long and they've been through so many cycles of the Urban Cleanse program that their answer is usually on the nose, right? But yeah, I mean, I think that the one thing is definitely my availability by WhatsApp at best, and then everything that they're getting through the program. So you're getting a health history consultation. Well, yeah,
maybe that's then to go into the next question I have, because actually the next question I have is like, what happens in an Urban Cleanse? Maybe just because you're about to walk through, but I want to make sure it's clear that we like. What can they expect? What happens? What do they get? What do they have to do? Because I feel it's not like just you spewing information at them.
Yeah, nope, not at all. So as I said, we start with a health history consultation. That means that I'm sitting one-on-one with my potential client on Zoom with, no contracts or anything, just me giving my time and love. And we kind of go over their health history, a form that they filled out ahead of time. And then I get a better view of what's going on. They get to share everything that they're going through and their wishes and hope from working together. I get to set those expectations and say, look, I'm not the right person for you, or we don't have synergy, or yes, let's do this. I'm super happy to work with you. So it could go, either way. I could be very happy to work with you and you're like, yeah, no, I didn't feel this person. I'm going to go search somewhere else. So that it starts there. And then it's easier also to put them in the right place. The next step is when they join, for example, the group program, which is coming up. So I'm kind of focusing on that because the one-on-ones can happen at any time. We start with a WhatsApp communication and emails, of course. introduction to the group, getting to know one another, understanding that we're all in the same boat and that people are very similar to us in that group. They then get a menu plan, 3-week menu plan, not set in stone. I'm not telling them like, I'm a nutritionist and you need to eat this at this hour and this and that hour. That's definitely not the case. The idea is more to give them recipes and ideas and things on how to actually make their life easier in the kitchen, recipes that can be very, very easy to prepare, things like that, right? So the menu plan, there's 4 options for the menu plan. It would either be omnivore, pescatarian, vegetarian, or vegan. So literally whatever you are, whatever you're doing, you can actually, you can actually find the right menu plan for you. There's a shopping list included. There's a shit ton of recipes included. I mean, like beyond the menu plan itself. And then we have calls. We have a call every week for an hour where the clients, the group gets to share their struggles, their questions, their concerns, and of course their success stories. And then I get to also touch what they're talking about. And usually, I mean, I have a list of things that I always want to go over, but it's very dynamic. With each group, it's going to be different. So if someone brings up something that I usually talk about in the second or third meeting, I'll move it there because it will relate to their question or their concern. But we do talk about sleep and stress, and we talk about why I choose to leave gluten out of the menu plan and dairy out of the menu plan, for example, why there's an option to do intermittent fasting and how we do it during the program, which I find a lot of people do it kind of in a wonky way because they find some article on the internet. For me, intermittent fasting is not about weight loss. It's more about other things. So we go into detail about all these things, and nothing is set in stone. The menu plan is not set in stone. Doing intermittent fasting is not set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. It's just kind of like to motivate and give you those options and give you the idea of what steps you can take forward in order to actually feel better. And you are your own science during that program, right? I'm bringing up, of course, science-based information, but at the end of the day, I always say, like, if science tells you that carrot is the healthiest thing on earth, but you're allergic to carrot, you're not going to eat carrot, right?
Yeah.
So, the idea is basically for you to notice what does you good, what does your body good, what are you thriving on, what are you happy with, and then move forward from there. And it usually sticks.
Oh, cool. Okay, excellent. Maybe to contextualize this a little bit for someone, do you have like a couple examples, obviously anonymous, of course, of some of your previous, I mean, you have tons of testimonials on your website, that's clear. So I think if you want to read the testimonials, you can go to the website, but maybe you have a couple cases that pop to your mind about, number one, people that were really successful and why they were successful with the program, meaning that they accomplished what they wanted to do with the program. And then maybe 1 or 2 cases where it didn't work out. You kind of alluded to that earlier with the person with the thyroid issue, but maybe you could think of also an example of why, specific example of why it didn't work out for somebody and what you learned from that, or what the person learned from that.
Sure. I'll start with the thyroid because she was actually, I'm thinking of a few people here, a few women here, and they were both, not both, actually quite a few, and they were all quite happy at the end of the day. I mean, it was just that their goals kept being weight loss, which didn't actually move as fast or as kind of productive as they hoped. But that's a good question. I mean, like I remember in one of the first groups that I had, for example, I had a lovely lady, vegan, who joined the group, and she came and said, I do not cook. I do not cook. And I was like, wow, okay. And she goes, my 14-year-old, like my 14-year-old fends for himself. My husband fends for himself. I just get these salads or I do this and that. But really, she did not cook. And she was thriving because the recipes are so simple and so quick and easy and delicious that you don't need to be a cook to actually cook. I mean, like I'm talking about a few ladies, but this specific lady, she was like, I do not cook. A lot of women come up to me and they're like, I hate cooking. I don't do it. Da, 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 da. And there's another lady I'll talk about still in the group, in the extension group, but she's like, I hate cooking. I don't cook. I do not. And she really just, thrived on that as well. So the one lady who was like, I do not cook at all. And she was like, she was cooking, like she was a cooking machine, which
But was
proves
that
that
why
anyone can do it.
why did she join the
She
group?
joined because she wanted to diversify with her eating, because she felt like she was stuck in this rut of just eating the same things, and that she wasn't actually, she was a stick figure. She wasn't trying to lose weight. She was really, really lean and fit, and she exercised probably too much. And, she was just in a different place. But she was like, I need more nutritious food, and I need nutritious food for my family, and I want to make sure that I'm eating right. Okay. So that was one kind of interesting case that I had there. I had another client who was actually a client who worked with me. I have a lot of clients who either come from the one-on-one to the group program, or vice versa. So one lady who I worked with at the beginning of Organalicious years, and she came back to me. She was like, I want to join the group, but you can forget about me doing the intermittent fasting. And I was like, okay, but no problem. I respect that. But why don't you just try it the way that I talk about it? Like, just try. Because she's like, I tried it. I hated it. It was terrible. I almost passed out. Da, da, da. And she tried it. And she was like, I am obsessed. I'm hooked, doing it from now until forever. So until today, she's actually doing it. She's thriving off of it. And so that was another kind of example of like, if you tried any of the things that I talk about, give it a chance still, because I do it in a different way. I do it in a much more user-friendly way, where, you can actually adjust to it, and your body reacts better. We leave out sugar, for example. We leave out processed sugar. A lot of people do sugar detox, and they won't eat fruit, and they won't eat dates, and they won't eat, I don't know, whatever. And I'm like, it's good. Yeah, do it, but you're going to suffer. And you're going to go through a proper detox, and you're not going to be able to go to work for like 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 days, because you're going to be in bed sweating and shaking, because you're literally detoxing from sugar. So we're really doing it in a more gentle way as well, where we're leaving out processed sugars. We're sticking to very specific sugar sources, and of course eat fruits and things like that. But it is much more gentle on the body, and the cravings go down by default. We talk about all of the things that help with kind of battling just those random carby and sugary cravings. So, I mean, I had another client who, she's insane. She's still with me, and I can say this about so many clients, they become friends. Like I'm like, I love them. But she was vegetarian. Yes, vegetarian, not vegan. And she came up to me and she was like, look, I don't cook. I hate cooking. I have a 2-year-old, I think she was at the time. And my husband is a fitness instructor, and I want to provide better food for them, and I want to feel better. She goes, I'm living off of Red Bull. I think it was Red Bull. Yeah. She goes, I drink Red Bull breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, she lives off of Red Bull. And I was like, all right, let's see what we can do here. And she joined, and I was like, maybe the one-on-one would work better, because geez, in 30 days to do all of that. And she's like, no, let's do the 30-day, and then I'll see. And she's still in the program, and she's still off of Red Bull. She literally managed to cut Red Bull and all fizzy, crappy drinks out of her life. She's eating beautifully. She had cirrhosis. It's gone. She had other issues with fungus in the nails and stuff, gone. Like, she had so many things that she was battling with. Her skin became just gorgeous. She's like, I hardly have to wear makeup. She used to put like this much makeup on before, because she had to hide whatever, the pimples and whatever, the skin and the color of the skin. And now it's like vibrant and beautiful. So, there's so many stories, and every single person will have a different story going through the program. I had one person that I can think of who she hated me. She just hated me. I don't know what the deal was. She still sometimes like pops up and like hate her, but everyone else is quite happy, and they make certain changes that make them feel happy. It doesn't have to be that they lost a shit ton of weight, but the fact that they can provide their family or themselves healthy, delicious meals already makes them happier. The fact that they don't have a brain fog, or that they have more energy, or that they feel better in their own skin is already a bonus. And so, yeah. And of course the weight balance, because again, a person who needs to lose weight and the person who needs to gain weight can still do the program. And the idea is that when you give your body what it needs, it will naturally balance, right? You don't need to go on diets, and you don't need to be deprived or to overeat on calories if you need to gain weight in order to reach your goal. You can actually balance it quite naturally while enjoying the food that you're eating and not feeling like you're being punished, and you're just kind of like waiting for those 30 days to be done so you can go back to eating. I always demonize pizza, but we'll say pizza for now.
Yeah, don't demonize pizza. Pizza's
I know, I love pizza.
So, okay, now let's get into the nitty gritty of like, there's a lot of haters out there on health coaches because, number one, anybody can really be a health coach. That's true. There's a lot of programs out there to certify being a health coach. You recently completed your certification for functional medicine coaching. But I kind of want to play like the troll that we'll probably have somewhere in the comments that says, you're not a nutritionist, you're not a medical professional, and why should people, one, trust you with this kind of thing? Number two, like, what kind of gives you this authority to help people with this? Like, who are you, Danna, to be helping people change or re-educate themselves on food and nutrition and healthy lifestyle?
That's a good question. And I have to say, and look, I don't like bashing others, and I don't like talking about this person doing that. But I lately saw someone on Facebook going, I now offer a diet and workout program. I am not anything. I'm not a coach. I'm not a nutrition. Nothing, no qualification whatsoever. I just know what worked for me. So, which is, I find it's like the danger 101. It's kind of like, no, not everything that works for one person is going to work for the next person.
Well, at least she or he gave the caveat that it worked for me, and I'm just spreading it.
Yeah,
at least you have to give them
but
this
I find that's where I don't think people see that part. I don't think people read that part. So right. Very knowingly you say, like, come, I'm doing a program. I lost weight. I gained muscle. I'm like, yeah, okay. But I don't know how you did that. And I don't know if it was right for everyone. And of course, again, so for us health coaches, I think what differentiates us from nutritionists, again, I don't tell people how many calories they need to eat and what meals they need to have. This is definitely not my place. And I don't want to be that person. Like, otherwise I would have gone and been a nutritionist or a dietitian or whatever. I'm not interested, right? My job is to coach you, right? My job is to hold your hand and help you to move forward in the steps that you're ready to take, which is so important, right? Some people are not going to be ready to jump in head first to do a full-blown menu plan and cook, and like go crazy. That's okay too. The fact that you can do 1 or 2 new recipes a week, that's awesome. Maybe you can move your sleep 15 minutes earlier. That's awesome, right? So it's not like a regime, and it's not like I know everything. I tell my clients, the first few sentences that I say to every person that I work with, especially in the group, I go, I don't believe in 30-day programs. And they're like, what the fuck? I just paid you for a 30-day program. But I go, like, I don't believe in 30-day programs because I don't believe that they're sustainable. And I don't believe that after the 30 days, you're not going to go back to eating or living the way that you have. And this is why this program is different, where I'm trying to give you tools to make this a sustainable lifestyle change, right? So as a coach, I think what we have as a coach is the knowledge and understanding of different issues that might be in the way, different diets out there or eliminations and whatever, right? So we have a broader knowledge versus that person who just did this one thing and this one exercise and it worked for them, or this other person who just read a couple of books and they show the books and they're like, I read these books, now I know everything. Don't read the books, come to me, I'll help you. That's not what we do. And I've read all the books and I'm still not going to be like, I know everything, because your body is your science. You need to know and understand what works for you. And I think that's a big, big thing that differentiates us health coaches from anyone else that you mentioned, either people who haven't gone through health coaching experience, learning, or nutritionists and dietitians and doctors and whatever else, who have so much knowledge that they're like, you got to do it this way or no way at all. That's the only way that works, Yeah. So yeah, I think that the hand holding, the support, the empathy, and being a person that comes from that same background. I was there. I was also there. I was also 20 kilos overweight and depressed and miserable and pain from head to toe. Now it's only pain on the head because I smacked my head, but it'll go away. My husband will kiss it when he comes home. But other than that, I can say, yeah, okay, I've gone through this and I've been through that. But what I'm teaching you is not what I did. It's not, because I don't think that it will work, because A, it took me years and years. I didn't have a coach. And B, because, you're an individual and you're different, and it might not work for you, and it's not for your life. It's not what you are living at the moment.
Yeah. I think that's interesting what you were saying, that, you can do it. People can change their lifestyle. People can change their behavior with food, exercise, diet. They can change. People can change this. We know this because people do it all the time, and you don't need a coach to do it. I think where a coach comes in handy is that a coach is there to help you when you slip down. A coach is there to help you, like you said, hold your hand, or help you be accountable to the decisions that you made to do. And I think the big differentiation between a medical professional, whether that's a doctor, nurse, nutritionist, dietitian, somebody who's got a medical or certifiable degree that can diagnose or prescribe things to you, is way different than a coach or somebody who is guiding you through that process. And fortunately, we're coming into the age where there are now a lot of doctors and nutritionists and dietitians that are also getting trained as health coaches, which is great, because not only then can they prescribe a certain diet to help with a certain medical condition, but they can also then be the guide along the side, helping you with that behavior change process. But a lot of doctors and healthcare providers are also looking to health coaches to help people implement the prescriptions that a doctor might have, where you need to lose weight because of a certain medical condition. You need to gain weight because of a medical condition. There's a variety of different things. You need to lower your anxiety because of your blood pressure. So there are different things that doctors and physicians know that they don't have time to hold your hand. They have time to make the medical diagnosis that they were trained to do. And then they give you that diagnosis, they give you that prescription, and then you need to go away. And with all your willpower from the 50,000 decisions that you make a day, you need to decide to also change your behavior. And that's where people who go, okay, I know that if I keep going this way, I'm going to end up with type 2 diabetes, even though my doctor says I'm only in pre-diabetes. It is a horrible condition, but people know that they still go there. But it's not because they don't want to change. And I think that that's the key point to any kind of good coach, is helping you to implement those things that the physician said, helping you to implement the decisions that you have made in a way that supports you in a non-judgmental, safe space way to actually help you get where you want to go. And so I think that we needed to take this couple minutes to distinguish that, because I feel like a lot of times there are tons of programs out there, and there are tons of people like Danna and me who are certified. We know our limitations. We know where we're allowed to go, where we're not allowed to go. And we know when to say, no, you need to go to this other professional.
Yeah.
But there are other people who are not. So you just need to be very careful when you're picking a health coach or anybody that is not with a medical certification.
I have to say though, Megan, I have to say that I have met and know health coaches that should know their limitations, and they go beyond that, so they prescribe supplements, and they, prescribe elimination diets and things like that. And I'm like, this is where I kind of draw the line, because that's where shit will hit the fan, and I'm not interested. Enough shit is flying around here without that, right? So I think that it is really, really important to also say, like, yes, you need to know who you're working with, and also the person needs to understand that, like, if you're working with a health coach who's telling you what supplements to take, I would just be a little bit cautious, like, because if it's not tests that they have.
If it's not just collagen, then it shouldn't be prescribed.
basically, I mean, like, again, everyone does, everyone needs more vitamin D, everyone needs more magnesium, but the vitamin D world, the magnesium world, like, how much, which one, it's just a little bit, I find that it is a little bit problematic nowadays. And I do understand why people are a little bit cautious when they hear the word coach. I get it, What I'm trying to say is, this is the reason why I collaborate with experts. I collaborate with doctors, functional medicine doctors, and I collaborate with nutritionists, and I collaborate with people who can actually give us the extra information that we know and the guidance that we need in order for me to continue to support my client in the right path, and not for us to just kind of like guess and try to figure it out. And this doesn't work and that doesn't work. And it's just a waste of time for both of us, and a waste of time, of money for my client, instead of going like, look, let's do it in a more focused way. Let's do it in a more kind of, just in a better way, that we know what is going on with you in your body. Like, we need to do some tests. We need to do some whatever. We need to talk to the doctor about this and that. And then we can move in a more methodical way, where we actually know what we're doing and not just shooting in the air and waiting for a bird to fall.
So, okay, we're closing in at the top of the hour. So what I'd like to do now is to get into some logistics. So the first question is, which countries do you serve? So we sit in Switzerland, but we have people listening from the States, from other places. So number one is, who do you serve? And does that have any limitations on those live calls that you have? And then number two, like, when is your next program, and what is the best way to get more information about that?
Cool. Thank you. So yes, I have worked with people around Europe, in the States. Shouldn't be a problem unless it's like the way end, like California or something like that, where I just will probably be a zombie by the time you wake up. But I'm always open to, let's talk and figure out where you are and how I can help you. In the US, I know a lot of products as well. And I know a lot of, how to direct people to get what they need to get. I would say that in the rest of the world, it's sometimes a little bit harder for me to say, oh, check this product out, right? Because in Switzerland, I go, look, there's this shop and there's this shop and there's this shop, and you can find this specific product. So it's a little bit more direct. Having said that, I've had clients from Austria, from Germany, from Spain, from Sweden, I want to say, or Denmark, Sweden. I've had clients from a lot of other countries, and we figured it out, right? We managed, right? The one and only thing that is kind of missed when you're not in Switzerland is that the discount codes that I have with some companies that I work with, I'm not making money from them. It's just companies that I work with and asked for a discount code for my clients. That's kind of a miss. And I'm still trying to collect some goodies for my abroad clients, but it's kind of endless. So it's a little bit harder for me. But having said that, otherwise, not a problem. I mean, as long as the times match, and there have been times where I've had groups with people who are living in a country where 9:00 on a Monday morning is still their night, right? So we actually made sure that group will have the calls in the afternoons, for example. But you do get a recording of every single call. You do have the WhatsApp group, which is buzzing 24/7. So there is that way of interacting, even if you can't make it to the calls, even if you're awake at 9:00 on a Monday morning, but you're at work and you have an important meeting every single Monday morning, you have the recording of the call.
Okay.
And you asked me something else, and I don't remember.
When's the next program start, and how's the best way to get there?
the next program is starting on the 4th of November. Spots have already been people caught and grabbed some spots, so the space is limited. But the 4th of November, we're starting our WhatsApp communication, and the following Monday we'll have our first call. And for more information, you can go to my website, you don't need the W, organalicious.ch, and you will see at the top Urban Cleanse group program or the products. Yeah. And thank you, Megan, for DJing the link below. And you can jump on literally anywhere that I'm on social media, and you will find a direct link to that. So, or PM me. I love talking to people. So, just give me a chat, or chat in the video, or chat in the episode. And I'm happy to connect with you.
Awesome. This has been really great. Honestly, I learned a lot. Of course, I think I also love to hear you talk about your program because, like me, you get very passionate and you can tell that it means a lot to you to help people. And we've talked about this offline before about the reason why we do what we do. And you're just like, you just said it so simply. You're just like, I just love being with people and helping people. And I feel like allowing you today to talk about your program was a good way to kind of emphasize that, you need to make a living, but you're making a living doing what you're really passionate about. And I feel like that you're very fortunate because a lot of people can't do that or are not in a position to do that. So, and I feel like that makes you a better coach as well, because you're really passionate about your clients turned friends, and they're really lucky to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, look, I this, and I've been a little bit more open about it on social media lately, but I've gone through a really, really tough couple of months. And I have to say that, like, the best time that I have, like the moments where I'm like thriving throughout all of the mess that I'm living in at the moment, is my work with my clients. I mean, I come and I'm there for them, and I'm like, this is my focus, and it's you. It's not all of that, and it just makes me happy. It makes me happy to hear from my clients. It makes me happy to hear from them on WhatsApp and to see them and to hear about, things that they're going through and to be able to help, or to hear about things that they're achieving. So yeah, I'm kind of in love with every single one of them, old and new. So.
All right. Well, we will wrap it up there. So this has been our third live episode of the podcast. It's working well. I love it. I love it too. Okay, good. So we'll try to do it some more. Maybe we'll actually advertise it so people can join us. But actually, we had a few people today. So woohoo! Good job. They all came from your Facebook page too. So you have some good followers on your Facebook page. So
thanks, people.
We'll leave it there, and we will see you all next time.
Awesome. Bye. Thanks. Bye.